Hi, my name is Alfonso,
Hi, and I'm Francisco.
and this is Easy Talks, our podcast, episode 3. I want to thank you for all the people who have been listening and checking our little videos that we've been making, and we'll keep doing it as long as we have things to talk about. So, in this particular episode, we're going to talk about all the new reforms,
regulations,
laws. The things that are new for 2022.
In the state of Yucatan.
That's the thing. We wanted to be very specific and very clear about the fact that this is only in the state of Yucatan. We're going to talk about the new laws and things that start working or start
affecting closings
in Yucatan. Other states have its own regulations and rules. This is just for the state of Yucatan. Now, we're recording this on March, 12th, sorry, we don't even know what day we're on March 12th. So this is as far as March 12th goes. We don't really know what's going to happen later on because some of these laws are quite controversial. I think people are going to fight them. Corredores públicos are going to fight them. I think many people are going to fight these rules. Many of which we consider absurd, really. I consider absurd, some of them. So as far as March 11 goes, this is what is current. If things change, because this will air in April, after March 11, we don't really know what's going to happen, but so far, this is how things are. People used to close at lower value, or try to close at a lower value.
Yeah, I kind of understand why they want to do it, the appraisal committee, because a lot of people try to close at a lower value using the valor catastral, or just a little bit higher.
Which, let's make no mistakes, tax evasion.
Yeah, it has been more and more complicated due to the law against money laundering that force the transactions to be basically by check or wire transfers and just a lower amount of cash that you can use as a payment method. But I think that this appraisal thing is ridiculous, especially because the corredores públicos, they have public faith in the whole country, and the state government is basically telling them, okay, even though that you have public faith to say this property worth 5 million pesos, the thing that someone else needs to verify that it's controversial, and I'm sure they already filed
legal resources
resources to overrule that law.
But the fact of the matter is that after you do your appraisal, you submit it, and I'll explain the process in a few minutes. Appraisals committee can come back and says, your property, for an example, I submit an appraisal, real value, 2.5 million pesos. Appraisals committee can come back and says, no, the property is worth 6 million pesos. So now they decide what market value has, which is ridiculous. It's completely out of the market, or what the market says. It destroys deals. It creates extra costs and extra payments, and they are defying or arguing with the resolution of a federal authority.
And it's putting in the mind of the seller that the property,
it has that worth.
The worth is higher than so sometimes they would rather, okay, I'm gonna throw out the deal because my property,
because someone is telling me my property doesn't worth 2 million pesos, it worth 6 million pesos, and it's not real. It's not real. I'm sorry to tell you this.
The thing is that the government is trying to inflate the prices to get more taxes.
Now you understand that. Yeah, they try to avoid people from closing at a catastral value or a lower value, but they're way out of whack. They're crazy.
Yeah.
But they try to, because they want their piece of the cake, and that's fine. I understand. You want your 2.5, your 3.5, or wherever. We'll explain that later on. of acquisition property tax on a real value, not on a lower value, but on a real value. We're talking, what they're talking about is not close to be real.
Yeah, no, that's totally out of the...
And it happens in one of our closings when we told the client, hey, we have a problem because they are saying the property doesn't worth X amount, it worth, I don't know, 5 million. It says, oh, if it worth 5 million, I may not sell it then because
someone else will buy it for 5 million.
5 million.
And that is not gonna happen.
I would like to tell the guys in the appraisers committee to buy that fucking property in what they say it worth, you know, to see if they like, and try to resell it later and to see what's gonna happen. It's not real. So we're having that problem.
And just to understand the implication of this is, if you're buying a property in $500,000 and the appraisers committee says it worth $800,000, but you're closing at 500, what is the tax implication? To begin with, your acquisition property tax is going to be calculated on the value that the appraisers committee put, in this case, $800,000 US. And because you're buying, in theory, a property that the value is higher than you are paying, you will have to pay also capital gains
on the acquisition.
On the acquisition. That means that because you're making in theory, you're making a profit buying a property cheaper than it really worth.
Yeah.
Then you will have to pay your acquisition property tax at a higher value plus the capital gain tax by the acquisition. So,
and it also has a time implication, and we're struggling with that. We can tell you straightforward. We are a law firm. We have clients, we have closings, we have set up closings, and we have dates from before this law. So it delays closings because first, nobody really knows how it works. Second, timeframes are not yet being very well established. And third, the process is the following. We fill out a form with information, send documents, the appraiser goes to the property, we send them pictures of the property, the appraiser goes to the property, verify it, come back, do the appraisal, and then submit it into the public registry for approval of the appraisers committee. All of that supposedly takes 2 weeks. We have situations where it doesn't take 2 weeks.
Yeah, and at the beginning they were saying that it's going to take like 2 to 5 days.
Which is not. And so right now, when you get to the closings that we have set up before the law, it's delaying them because we still have to do this. For the new deals, this is being done from the get-go, so we can tell the parties, hey, we're going to have this issue, or we have this issue since the beginning. And the other thing is the cost, because in the closing cost, appraisals were usually included.
Yeah, paid by the buyer.
Paid by the buyer. That's fine. You as a buyer pay your closing costs, pay your appraisal. But if things go south and the appraisal end up ruining the deal, that money that they pay for the appraisal will go to waste because there's no refund or anything like that. The cost of the appraisal is still the same, but it has to be paid from the get-go since the beginning, and there's no guarantees that the results are going to be positive.
Yeah, and right now we would advise the sellers, before putting your property in the market, do the appraisal that is valid for 6 months. Not other appraisal can change that one, because otherwise you're gonna make everybody wasting their time.
Money, and also the deal is not gonna be 100% safe.
Yeah.
So we do really, in a separate note, we do really recommend to sellers and realtors to recommend their clients, or as part of their service, to do the appraisal and have it approved by the appraisals committee. It's valid for 6 months, and that will guarantee your deal.
Exactly, because you will know from the get-go, okay, even though I'm selling at $500,000 US, the appraisals committee said it was 800. You can tell from the beginning, the buyer, okay, even though that you're paying this amount of money, your taxes will be calculated on this, so they will know if they go for the deal or not.
Not, exactly. So that's the first reform is a big one. We're struggling with it. We don't really like it, but we're adapting as it is. And
we believe it's going to be overturned eventually. But
we do believe it's going to be overturned. And that's why I said at the beginning of the video, we're filming on March 11th. After that...
12.
Sorry, 12. Shit. 12. After that, we don't really know what's going to happen. If we're honest with you, we're hoping this will be overturned.
But it's
we
going
don't
to take
know.
at least
and as
a year or more.
6 months or more. So until it does take that into consideration if you want to buy or sell a property. Appraisal is going to be a major thing in the decision, and it's going to be a major thing on the process, time-wise, cost-wise, and at the end of the day, to establish if the deal is going to go through or not. Yeah. We have been having issues, but we're hearing horror stories from all over the place where properties that should worth 5 or 10 million pesos are being appraised for 22, 23 million pesos, which is ridiculous. So if people from the appraisers committee ever see this, which I doubt, please have some common sense. What we're doing you're inflating a market, you're ruining a market, you're creating insecurity on buyers, on sellers, and you are...
they're going to stop the real estate market.
And the process is being...
a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
It's not even fun anymore. It's really a nightmare. So if we can stop this madness, it will be awesome. Just a few days ago, and this is just... I should tell this at the end, but I'll just might as well say it now. A few days ago, a client told us, if like the government is trying to see how can we make this even more
complicated than it is,
as it is. I don't get the angle.
Yeah.
It's like they're not getting money out of this, and they are. Banks are getting money because of fideicomiso. The county is getting money because acquisition property tax. This creates payments for registration fees, the same appraisers, which are making the same amount of money that they were making at the beginning. It's just working extra.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. So, but it is what it is. So we're just explaining, telling you what's going to happen, and if it gets overturned, great. If not, we will adapt as always and find a way out of it that is that makes the deal possible.
But at the end of the day, it's going to cost more money for someone.
That's always the consequence of this crap. Somebody's going to have to pay more. Yeah, I guess there's no... In all of these reforms, I don't have one good news.
Yeah.
Not one. The same one is the acquisition property tax.
In Merida.
In Merida. It changed in some counties, but
I think the biggest one was Merida.
Merida was quite a surprise.
Yeah. Every year, each municipality can approve their, how do you call it?
Their income
tax law. So usually, from year to year, they change the acquisition property tax
sometimes
in the real
change
estate transactions. Sometimes they change, sometimes they don't. But in this particular year, Merida had a huge increase in the percentages. How long ago it was 2%? Like
2.5?
No, but at the beginning it was 2. So then they raised to
2.5. Yeah.
And right now it could go from 2.5 to
6.5.
Yeah, depending on the price of the property.
Yeah. We know about this since November. It wasn't really approved until December, but we heard what they wanted to do in November, and we thought this is madness. It was a very complicated operation with a that you have to do there to calculate.
It doesn't work to explain it.
That was a fact. I'm not going to explain. I will need a board here to explain. It was a factor that you have to divide the price in and multiply it against whatever to give you the percentage. The percentage will go or used to go from 2.5 to 6.5. The more expensive it was, the higher was the acquisition property tax. Then they issue a new they call it a
I think they knew they're gonna
all
blow
present
all
legal
yeah.
the market, and there was going to be legal resources presented all over the place, federal resources that they're called amparos. So
So they came with a
they came with a solution that
like
is
amnesty, if you wanna call it.
it's like they're doing us a favor. It's kind of to in the law it says to incentivize the payment of the acquisition property tax.
Yeah.
We're giving you this special treatment.
Like a grace period.
Yeah, during the year. It lasts until December 27th of this year. It supposedly after December 27th of this year, they're gonna go back to this original idea of the little table with the factor and the whatever. So right now the numbers are, and I'm gonna use my page right here. From 0 to 800,000 pesos is 2.5%. From 800 to 2.5 million pesos is 3%. From 2.5 to 12 million pesos is 3.5%. And after 12 million pesos, then you have to go to the original structure, use the factor and whatever, and it can go up to 6.5%, which is completely insane.
Yeah.
There's no acquisition property tax higher in the whole state. The higher one was Telchac, 4%. This year, other counties, Kansakap, and I think Semul has 4% as well.
Semul?
Yes.
Wow.
It went from 2.5 to 4%.
You should know Semul englobal the area of San Benito.
A part of San Bruno.
Yeah, and part of San Bruno, yeah.
So that's why they did it.
Yeah.
They realized they were losing money.
Yeah,
on
because
the
the chat
prices.
was doing it. Yeah.
And there are very desirable properties on the beach with huge prices. So they increased it to 4%. So now they have that as well. So this is from the get-go, and we told clients on the closing costs that we used to give in December, we always put some
Like a disclaimer.
in red, saying prices could go up. I mean, acquisition property tax could go up, etc. In some of the deals, this far on the year, we still haven't been able to give exact closing costs because we still don't know how we're going to handle it between the appraisals thing and the acquisition property tax. So if you have in mind to pay 2.5% because it was in Merida, you can forget about that. You have to use these numbers to calculate how much capital gains, how much acquisition property tax you're going to pay, and take it into consideration inside your closing costs. Let me tell you, if the property is above 2.8 million pesos, which is $140,000, if the property is above $140,000, that's 3%, and it's something. It's quite a lot of money. So again, it is what it is. This, I don't think it will be overturned.
No.
This will go the whole year. We still don't know what's going to happen in December 27th. I think they're going to make an adjustment
Some kind of amendments. Yeah.
to leave it as it is.
Yeah.
It was very complicated, and if you need to have some degree of math ability to do the numbers, and so it was ridiculous. So hopefully we'll stay. I mean, not hopefully. I don't think we'll go back to anything below this because I mean, once the government starts seeing money, why to go back? So they're gonna stay on this. Hopefully, we'll stay on this, and it will not go back to the original way to calculate it. But right now, just take it into consideration. We start in 2.5 and we go out to 6.5. We're change number 3. It's also a cutie.
A what?
It's special.
Okay.
RFCs.
Oh yeah. The RFC is the Mexican tax ID number that individuals who are citizens of Mexico or residents in Mexico, they need to have, as long as you have your resident card as a foreigner, you need your Mexican tax ID number to buy a property or to sell a property. It used to be really easy to get it. We
Online.
got online and just print it, and that's it. Right now, the government decided that you have to go to the Mexican IRS office, that is the S.A.T, SAT, Servicio de Administración Tributaria in Spanish, because they take your biometrics.
Biometricals, yeah.
Info, fingerprints, how do you call it?
I don't know, the eye thing.
Yeah, and they scan your face and everything. So you have to go in person. Some clients, they get mad because they don't understand why they have to go, because someone else told them that it was really easy and you get it online, but it's not possible anymore. If you're selling your property or if you're buying your property as a foreigner and you are a resident, you need to go to the Mexican IRS, the SAT, to get your tax ID number.
RFC. Usually it was a requirement for Mexicans, of course, and for people for sellers who wanted to avoid their capital gains tax, then they got their tax ID number and put it on a proof of address. But now, if you're Mexican or if you are a resident, buyer or seller, you need your tax ID number, your RFC. Again, we're filming this on March 12th. So right now, you don't need an appointment to go and get it. We're hearing that they're going to require people to get appointments to go and get it. People over 65, they can go from 8 to 9 a.m. It's a time. It's a special time that is just for them, but it requires them to go, make the line, get in. They don't speak English. Let me tell you that, and do the process. Be ready. It's a whole day thing.
Yeah, at least 4 hours there.
At least 3-4 hours, easily. People or clients, when we told them this, and at the beginning, let me tell you, we have ways to get the tax ID number without having our clients go, but not anymore. They are forcing them to go. And clients got mad saying, I read somewhere that I can get this online and I just go on the portal and I can do it. It used to be that easy, even for us. Just with your CURP, if you didn't have any economical activity, you could get your tax ID number online and print it at the moment. Very easy, painless, easy. But not anymore. Because of the biometrics, they are forcing you to go. And I think they are issuing at the same time electronic signature, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, they are issuing tax ID numbers for foreigners. They are issuing electronic signatures so they can handle their taxes that they're not going to present because they are not active economically in the state. They are residents, temporary or permanent. That pretty much means that they live other than income in other countries. So it's quite stupid. Not the fact that they need their tax ID number. I get that. Mm-hmm. You know, I get that you as a country wants to have everything and, located and whatever. That's fine. But why to make people go, make 4 hours?
Especially with the COVID thing, that's the most stupid idea they could have.
And then because of COVID, people are making lines on the streets and then they get in. I haven't heard one single client happy about this. Yeah. They all complain, they're all mad, they're all saying, freaking country, what the hell it's like they don't want us here. And to be honest, it does sound like that or feels like that because this is ridiculous. Again, same thing that the appraisal, this is super stupid. Again, not the actual law, but how they are implemented it and the actual time, the bureaucracy, it's just a nightmare, even for us as Mexicans.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to renew my electronic signature, that's it. It's a whole day there. Because...
Well, not to renew your electronic signature, you can do it online as long as it hasn't expired.
Exactly. My point is, if it has expired, then you have to go. And we were used to this with corporations. That is being... We will do... In the chapter for the corporations, if you want to hear it, it's really a nightmare to do the corporation, to get the electronic signature of the corporation. You need to be Mexican, you need to have a tax ID number, you need to have electronic signature, you need to have an address. It's a nightmare. But
Not to
translate
be Mexican, you need to be a resident
a
with
resident.
an electronic signature.
Sir, you
as
need
an
to have a tax
individual.
ID number, basically.
Yeah.
But if you translate that into now every buyer and seller, it's a problem, especially because not all buyers comes to the country to close.
Yeah.
Some of them who are residents give you a power of attorney from the States or Canada or wherever part in the world,
Yeah.
and they don't want to come. I'm telling you now that you have to come to get your tax ID number.
If you want to avoid the capital gain taxes.
No, well,
yeah.
even as a buyer, you have to come as a buyer. If you don't have
Ah,
tax
well,
ID
yeah,
number,
you can close, yeah.
that's even
That's
worse.
true, yeah.
Because even as a seller, I can understand, well, it's been like that forever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to avoid capital gains taxes, just come and do it. But as a buyer,
Yeah.
I'm a resident, but I don't want to come to the country. I'll give you a power of attorney, put the apostille stamp on it and send it, and then I don't have to go to the country. But now they do, because they have to get their tax ID number before they close, because buyer and sellers has to have it. So it's not a matter of cost. Of course, if you want somebody to go with you, it will cost you, but it's not a question. But if you speak a little Spanish, you can go yourself. It's not a question of money because they don't charge. It's a question of a whole day thing. It's one whole morning getting your tax ID number. Yeah. And we go at the end of it, and after hearing all these three changes in the law, to the actual problem of these changes, which are the consequences, which is clients gonna pay more, things are gonna be more expensive.
And it's gonna take more time.
A lot more time. Because appraisals are gonna delay closings, people getting their tax ID numbers are gonna delay closings. And even the acquisition property tax is gonna, how can I say it? Be a decision, be part of the decision of buying or not buying a property, thinking, shit, I have to put 3.5% of the property is going to cost me 3.5% more. I mean, so we understand that this laws are
frustrating.
Yeah, they are frustrating. We're with you as clients. We're behind you. We're actually solving most of these problems. But the fact of the matter is that it's not our decision. Please don't get mad at us. It's not because we want you to get your tax ID number. It's not because we're stubborn and want you to do it. It's not because we want you to pay more money or we want you to pay an appraisal and wait for it to get. We're doing what we can with the cards that we have got from the government, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what we're doing. We're reacting and adapting and trying to survive. Eventually, it's going to become easier, but it is very important that the clients know at least these three new topics that we have for 2022. God knows what's going to happen in 2023, but right now, again, March 12th, these are the three new important changes on the law. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, doubts, or want more information about this, contact us, send us an email, send us a text, a WhatsApp, or you can go on our website and send us a text from there. Comment below, please subscribe, and if you want any subject that we talk about, any subject or something, just let us know and we'll consider it for next episodes. All right? Until then, I'm Alfonso.
I'm Francisco.
And this was Easy Talks. Cheers.
I'm our beer.